Is it recording? See, how good was that muffin?
Oh, it was pretty good.
Good muffin.
What
Pumpkin? No, it was.
pumpkin seeds.
Oh, it was too.
Yeah.
Gluten-free and vegan. It certainly did not taste gluten-free or vegan. It was very sweet, very good.
So, Nathan, what's your nickname? And when did you get it?
My nickname's Nugs, or Nugget. Got it when I was about 8. I'm pretty sure my uncle was the one that gave it to me, and it was because I was just this little round nugget that used to play football, and I was fast, and I used to score like 3 tries a game until I got a bit older, and then everyone grew, and I wasn't scoring 3 tries a game anymore. It got a lot harder. But yeah, I think I just hit puberty before everyone else did. Not many people call me Nugs or Nugget anymore, except for my good friends.
I like it.
That's the origin of Nugs or Nugget.
What age did you start playing footy?
I was 4, and I finished up when I was 21 due to a neck injury. Yeah, it was literally my whole life from the age of 4 till 21. I did a post about it the other day actually. I was saying how it messed with my head a fair bit when I couldn't play anymore. But when I come back from my injury, it just wasn't the same, man. Like, I came back and played another 6 rounds and thought, it's just not doing it for me anymore.
Yeah.
And so I hung up the boots, and that just really messed with my head. And that's when I turned to music, and then the rest is sort of history at the moment.
Yeah.
Writing the history, I guess.
So you think like hanging up the boots made you focus on music a fair bit
Oh,
more?
100%. I wasn't, like, music was always there, but when I was playing footy, man, I never thought about it, hey. Like, I'd always go home and write music and sing and stuff, but I never thought about gigging. I never thought about recording my own stuff. I never thought that one day that I would make something of it. Like, and then it took that injury for me to turn around and think, what am I going to do now? And that's when I turned to the music and really started doing something with it. And it's been a blessing in disguise for sure, man.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So how long have you been playing guitar for now?
Just going on 15 years. I don't know why that took me so long to work that out. I'm almost 25 and I started when I was 10. That's such easy maths. And I worked out the maths last night as well, so I don't know why it just took me so long.
Who gave you your first guitar?
Mum and Dad. So I asked for my first guitar when I was 10, so I got it for my 10th birthday.
Yep.
God knows why I asked for it. I think I told you that already, but for some reason I just wanted a guitar for my 10th birthday, man. And I've always loved music. Like, there's always been a passion there for it. I always sang, so there's always been something there for it, but I don't know why I actually wanted it. So I got the guitar, and it was this big fat dreadnought shaped full-bodied acoustic guitar, steel string, and I was 10. It was probably half the size of what I am now. I'm not that big now, so you can imagine how big half the size is. With this big dreadnought guitar, steel strings with little fat fingers, trying to play, and I'm just like, what is going on? And then eventually I learned Time of Your Life by, Good Riddance by Green Day. I think everyone learns that song to start off with. Actually, no, my uncle taught me Horse With No Name by America. That was the first song I ever learned. And then I think I learned Smoke on the Water, then Good Riddance.
Smoke on the Water is probably my first, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone learns that, but my uncle was just like, don't worry about Smoke on the Water, mate. This one's way easier. It's 2 chords. And it's literally in the same spot of the neck. It's like, yeah, E minor to F sharp.
Yeah, solid. So you write your own music, obviously.
Yeah.
So when did you start writing your own music, and how many songs do you think you've written now?
Started writing my own music when I was probably about... Oh, look, actually, to be completely honest, I would have been writing and creating like little things the whole time. There's always been a creative side to it, but actually sat down and wrote a full piece probably at the age of 13, 14. And it was just, look, man, it was just a typical love song. But the chords and the riff and the little licks in it are actually pretty cool. So I'm definitely gonna come back to it one day and maybe write some more mature lyrics to it and get it out there. But for now, it's just tucked away. Don't play it too often. I play it every now and then at a pub, like open with it, because it's funky and it's fun. And when you're at a pub, it doesn't really matter too much what kind of words you're singing, because a lot of the time people aren't listening. So, but yeah. As for how many songs I have, probably about 12. Did you ask me that question? You asked me how many I have?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably about 12, bro. So like 12 fully finished.
Yep.
Like I said, wrote my first one around the age of 13, 14. And then just a whole heap of ones that just are in the works, throughout my phone, my recordings, on GarageBand, on my iPad, like the whole deal. Like I think a lot of musicians are kind of like that. You're always writing stuff in your head, and as soon as you come up with an idea, you need to put it down somewhere, otherwise it's going to go. And when it goes, like it's happened to me before, like I'll come up with a sick idea, I'll play something so cool, and something will come up, I'll quickly go do something, then by the time I get back to my guitar, I'll forget about it and I go, it was such a sick like line or melody or whatever it was, and then it's gone. So that's why you need to quickly write down a few phrases in your notebook where you can remember just from them phrases, or you just quickly whip out your phone and record it. That's the best part about technology now, is you can just whip out your phone and quickly do like a recording of a line or a chorus or a phrase, do you know what I mean? And it's easier to remember. You can just come back to that and refer straight back to that.
You said your first song was written about love. Have all your originals been had like
Oh, certainly
that
not.
sort of drive behind them?
No, all my originals have some form of love in it, but they're definitely not all love songs. For example, there was a time where I went through a pretty rough time mentally, and I wrote probably 3 to 5 songs about my mental health state at that time. It's probably pretty cliche as a musician to write about that sort of stuff, but it's the stuff that's the rawest, you know what I mean? Especially when you write about mental health, it's being vulnerable, you've been raw, and you're showing your true self to people. You're not quite sure if people are going to judge, or if they're going to think it's cool, or if they're going to relate to it or not. But at the end of the day, they usually do, and people will come up to you and be like, oh, that's pretty cool, like I've been through the same thing, or rah, 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 do you know what I mean? So it's, at the end of the day, it's pretty cool to write about.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, certainly not all about love. There's been ones about love, ones about mental health, ones about just experiences, and then you just get them stupid ones that you write when all your mates are sitting around and you come up with stupid lyrics and funny songs and stuff, but they usually stay between the boys.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So on that as well, so what inspired you to write Take Me?
The thing that inspired me to write Take Me was the passing of my pop in late 2019. Lost his fighting battle to cancer. He fought the whole way, man. And it's just like most people you hear that get cancer, they fight the whole way, and then sometimes people make it through, and other times other people are a bit unlucky. And he was at the age, man, where he had lived a good life, and it was so sad to see him go, but at the same time, he lived a good life and it was time to let him go, really. And then I decided to sit down and write a song. I actually started writing it before he passed away and then finished it after he had passed. And you can hear that throughout the song, for sure. Like, if you really listen to the song, you can hear that in the song. And so, yeah, but all that aside, the main reason I wrote it was so other people that go through the same thing have something to relate to and something to listen to, and to show other people that, like, if they're going through that, they're not alone. I basically wrote that for them. And my mum and Morgan, man, they struggled really bad, because Morgan's pop, for those of you who don't know, Morgan's my girlfriend, her pop passed away like a couple of weeks later. It was a crazy time of our lives, and I sort of just had to be there for them. I didn't really have time to grieve, and my grieving time was writing that song. So I wrote it for them too. I wrote it for anyone else that's lost someone and didn't know how to deal with it. Because I didn't really know how to deal with it. Like, I didn't even really cry, man. Like, I had one sort of little moment where I cried, and that was it. It's my first loss, like my first proper loss, and it was a really surreal feeling. I didn't know how to feel. It was weird. I felt strange. And yeah, the best way to fix that problem was to write a song, and it just made me feel better almost instantly, and made me feel proud, and made me feel like he would be proud. But yeah, it's just such such a special thing to be able to do, is to put your feelings down about someone on a piece of paper and write some music to it and turn it into a creation and turn it into a song that other people can listen to and relate to. It's amazing, like, to be completely honest. So yeah, that's what inspired me, I guess you could say. It's a big story, but in a short, I could go for longer, but yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. So the song's pretty personal to you.
Yeah.
Have you cried any time that you've played it before?
Yeah, of course, man. Like, I think I've told you this before, but when I was actually in the studio recording it, I didn't shed a tear once, and it was sort of like, almost like I was there for work, like I was there to work and just get it down and get it done so I could put some music out. But when I play it live, man, it's touch and go, very touch and go. Like, sometimes I'm fine, and then other times I'll sing a line out of it and it just, like, I crumble. My voice starts to shake and I go a bit off pitch and whatnot. But it's usually like I cry at different times. Like, one time I might cry in a certain part of the song, and the next time that I play it and cry, it's in a different part of the song. It's weird, the different parts of the songs hit me differently at different times, because, like, the certain parts of the songs bring on certain feelings and remind me of how I felt when I wrote it. Don't get me wrong, as I wrote it, like, I was writing it and thought, that's cool, but at the same time it was like, it's pretty deep. Like, for example, You Take Your Last Breath, My Fire Flares. That's like, when I sing that one hits me almost every time when I sing that bit. But I think as time goes on and the grieving process passes on and you get through it all, it'll get easier to sing live. But it's something that we all have to deal with, man, unfortunately, I feel. But yeah.
Yeah. Does singing the song, does it take you back to a place that makes you remember something?
100%. So, like, the whole chorus was written about an actual time where my pop come and stayed with us before he got sick for about a 3-week period. And it was me, my mum and I were still living together, me, my mum and Popper. And on my days off, I would sit at home with Popper, and Mum would go off to work and I'd just sit there making coffees, and then we'd go out the back for a smoke and we'd just sit there and we'd talk, man. And it was the best thing. Like, I appreciate that so much, that I got that little bit of time with him before he did pass, because that was pretty, like, really special. Like, to be able to live with him for 3 weeks and just pick his brains and asking questions like, what was his biggest regrets? What was the biggest milestone in his life? All them sort of hard-hitting questions. Because I knew, like, I didn't know he was sick at the time, or I didn't know he was going to get sick, but I knew he didn't have long left. And so I really made an effort to ask them sort of questions and try and get inside of his head a little bit and actually learn his story. Like, I think so much of us are close with our grandparents, but we don't actually know their stories. So I feel like you need to sort of sit there and ask them sort of questions and learn the actual story, do you know what I mean? And once I started learning the story a bit more, I had so much more respect for him. Not that I already didn't have the respect, but the respect grew and the relationship grew. It was just so surreal, and that's where Take Me to Places we've been, in case there's something I've missed, that come from that moment, because I was like, why did I leave it until I was how old was I, 22 or 23, to sit down with him and actually ask them questions, like, have I missed them opportunities before? Like, and that's how that came. It was like, take me to places we've been in case there's something I missed. And I think anyone can take something out of that. Like, you get so caught up on your phone or in your own head sometimes when you're out with friends, or if you're out for dinner and you don't really take notice of what's being said or appreciate the time that you have right there and then. And then next minute it's gone, you're gone home, and that opportunity and time's now gone. You never have that again. And you just spend it on your phone. Like, I know I'm guilty for it. I think we all are, but it's something that we all have to work towards being better as a full-blown human race in society, I think, man. Like, so it sucks the way the world's going, like, with social media, and like, it's the way of life now, and it's only going to get worse and harder. But I think we all need to make a conscious effort to sort of sit back and appreciate the time with our loved ones, especially with our loved ones. Yeah.
A bit more of an effort with them.
100%, man. And like, even like me and you right now, like, it should be just, if we weren't filming this, it'd just be like, just sit here and have a conversation. But we've been hardwired. It's so hard not to touch your phone. Like, and you probably tell yourself, you go to touch your phone, you're like, oh, shit, at dinner, don't touch it. We shouldn't have to remind ourselves not to touch it. It should just be, but it's just the way it is. Like, I'm not saying it's bad or you're a bad person if you do that. It's just the way it is. And I think it's just like mental health. We've got to educate ourselves better on it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely I reckon it's definitely a big thing of creating regret, for sure. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to miss those moments.
No way, man. And like that's, like I said, that's what sort of brought on that chorus. And the chorus was the first thing I wrote when I wrote that song, and it was just like, bang, take me to places we've been. And like I said, I was sitting out the back deck with the Mrs. Morgan, and I played it, and I just turned to her, I was like, that's sick. And I actually think I told her to go away so I could come up with some more stuff. I was like, go away, leave me alone. I'm in a creative process. I'm an asshole.
I'm sure he'd be proud of you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I think he would be too. Like, every time I hear the song, I think about it and I think, I wish he was here to hear the finished product. But I know, like, deep down inside, he's somewhere. Like, he's somewhere, he's probably heard it.
Yeah.
He's some sort of energy somewhere.
He'd be somewhere giving you the finger.
Yeah, 100%. 100%, man.
So how long did it take you to write?
So the actual song took me not that long. Like I said before, I started it before he passed away and I finished it after he passed away. The base of the song, look man, probably took half hour, to be completely honest. It was just a rush of emotion. And I was sitting on the back deck and I said to Morgan, like, oh, I got to come up with this. And I did. It just hit me, and then I kept it to myself for a couple of days, and I said to Morgan, I got to show you the rest of this, what I wrote. And she's like, oh, did you write more to that? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I've basically written the whole song, and I hadn't finished the outro of the song, and I hadn't finished the bridge, but I still had somewhat of a song there, and I played it to her. And she was standing in the kitchen, she was chopping up veggies for dinner, and she started crying, and it was a pretty cool moment, like emotion flying everywhere, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, probably about half a day to write the basis of the song, to write the main melody and most of the lyrics.
Yeah.
3/4 of the lyrics, I guess you could say.
Has the song changed much since that first?
Yeah, 100%. The song's changed heaps. So, like I said before, that I didn't have an outro verse and I didn't have a bridge, and the last chorus has changed as well. So, the last chorus actually, the wording and phrases of the last chorus changes a bit. So the main chorus is "Take me to places we've been," and the last chorus is "Take me back to places." So it's almost just more so of a emphasis and reiterating, like, I'd do anything to go back to a time where I wasn't fully present with you and give you my full attention. But as that as well, like, it just started off as an acoustic song, and now what you hear what it is now, it's come a very long way, I guess.
Producing it, did that take, was that pretty quick? Or?
Yeah, well, just like I just said, I went into the studio with an acoustic song, my vocals, and first time meeting Gareth from Hazy Cosmic Drive Studio. Look him up on Instagram and everywhere you can find him. Hazy Cosmic Drive Studio, he's a legend, and he's helped me out heaps, man. It was actually, like, I'm not going to go into depth out of respect for him, but there was a few things that happened in his life at the same time when I was in there, and we just really bonded over the song, man, and his dedication was just next level towards the production of the song and figuring out the sound I wanted. His job was literally to get into my head. I remember walking in there on the first day and I was like, bro, I don't know where I want this song to go or what we're going to do or how it's going to happen. And he goes, that's all right, man. He goes, you just give me your references and show me what you want it to sound like. It's my job to take your ideas out of your head and turn it into reality. And I was just like, that's cool. And that took, like, him saying that took so much pressure off me as well. It was almost like I just had to come up with ideas for him, and then he worked off them ideas, and honestly, man, I couldn't be happier with the production. Like, he's done an awesome job, and every time I listen to it, I'm just like, there you go. You've nailed it, brother.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
the production took probably 3 days total, so that's 3 8-hour days. So it's not as quick as people think, and there's a lot of effort that goes into it, man. Like, a lot of people probably think that it's just come up with a song, jump in there, record it, and it all just comes so easily and so quick, but there's so much hard work, for sure. And that's like both ends, like the songwriter and the producer. Probably, it'd easily be 50-50, if not a little bit more producer. Like, you come up with a song, it's a pretty cool process, and I guess you have to either go through it or be next to someone and watch them do it to fully appreciate it and understand it, for sure.
You excited to get back in there?
I need some coffee, bro. I'm getting a bit parched. All that is cold. Am I excited to get in there and do another one? Yes. I'm very excited. The next one's going to be something that I've had written for a long time and a fair few people have heard. It's not a song that's got the same amount of weight and gravity as what Take Me has. It's not as deep, but it's definitely a song that I feel that everyone's going to love and everyone's going to really get on board with. It's a bit more upbeat, and I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, I'm really keen to do this one and just do a bit of a different sort of take on it. And obviously I'm still going to have my same sort of sound, follow the same sound as Take Me, but definitely keen to experiment again. It's weird, man. I just want to keep experimenting and keep finding sounds and different things I can do. And I guess it's not weird because you always want to become better, but I just want to become better with each song and have different sounds and just evolve as an artist. So I can't wait to get back in the studio. I was actually meant to be back in there tomorrow, but had vocal problems. So Gareth said, "Oh, bro, don't come in and cancel all your fucking gigs this weekend." It's like, I can't, I'm broke. This music business is
Life of a musician.
yeah, man. You spend more than you make, trust me. At the start anyway, I don't know if it gets any better. I hope it does.
Why'd you pick Take Me as your first release?
Take Me picked itself as its first release, man. Like, I didn't pick it. It was just the weight of the song, and I knew that people could relate to it, and how it helped my mum, how it helped my girlfriend, and how it helped all the people around me. It's just, I could not release it as my first single. There was like no question in my mind if I was going to release it or not. I definitely thought about releasing other ones, but I always knew deep down that was going to have to be the first one. And it was almost sort of like it was for Popper as well, like, do you know what I mean? But like I said to you the other night, man, it's more than him, it's more than me, it's more than anything. It's something for everyone to listen to and relate to. And that's the biggest thing I want out of it, man. Like, I want people to reach out to me because they've listened to it, and like, so we can talk about it and talk each other through it and help each other through a shit time. Even if it's not lost, like, even if they hear the song and they hear something else in it and they want to talk to me about it. Like, it's all about everyone being there for each other and just, I guess, relating to each other and knowing that, no, I'm not the only one that's gone through this or done that, or there's other people out there and I can talk to them about it and they're not going to judge me, or, you know what I mean? Like, I still feel like our day and age, like, mental health is a massive thing where people are jumping on board and like educating ourselves and can't judge people for their mental health. But I think in the same thing, like, people get judged on everything, including how they take loss. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things where in the first year it's acceptable, do you know what I mean, to be sad about it, but once it gets past a certain point, I think people are almost like, oh, okay, it's time to move on now. And I think that's kind of unfair, really. Like, yeah, okay, you want to move on, but you never want to forget. Like, why should you forget, and why should you be judged for still mourning a few years later? Do you know what I mean? If you're still in mourning, like, and that's the whole reason. Like, it's for everyone. That's what the song's for. It's for everyone else. And like I said, much more than me, much more than my papa, much more than anything. This song's bigger than us all.
It'd be sick to be able to hear other people's stories and how it's touched them and
that's the thing. Like, I want people to reach out, and if it's okay with them, I want to share their story. So then the next person that was like, oh, he said I can reach out, but I'm just not sure if I should, or he might think I'm an idiot. But then if I post someone else's story and show them that, look, this person's reached out, this is what they've been through, then it's like a community. You build up a little community, and it's all of a sudden it's like, it is okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, it is okay to be still hurting about it, or it is okay to not look like a manly man or whatever, do you know what I mean? Or be like the strong woman that keeps a family together. Like, it's okay. I think sharing other people's stories is what it's all about. Like, that's what I want to do. It starts off with mine, but at the end of the day, I want to hear everyone else's story. I want to hear what you've done, what you've been through. And that inspires me, man. Like, I think it's like everyone in everyday life, like, you think you're doing it tough, and then you have a conversation with someone, then next minute you're just blown away by what they've just said, and you thought, I'm doing it bad. Like, this bloke's fucking recovering ice addict and living on the street and doing his best. Like, and I think my life's bad. Like, that's what I mean.
So Nate, what's on for the foreseeable future, mate?
Foreseeable future is just produce more good music, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't want to give away too much, because I don't want people to know what song I'm going to release next or what's my next move. I think that's the whole sort of thing about being an artist. You got to be a little bit like the Phantom, ooh, a little bit Phantom-ish, but there's definitely stuff coming. I just needed a little break after the first one. It was my first single launch and release, and it was very taxing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna blow wind up my own bum. It definitely wrecked me, especially being such a heavy song, do you know what I mean, for me personally. Plus all the shit that went with it, which I'm extremely grateful for, but I'm only human, bro. Like, I do get tired. Although some people might think I don't, I definitely do get tired, and my missus knows I do, because I get cranky. She cops the brunt, but she loves me and I love her, and that's all that matters. We're still there for each other at the end of the day. And yeah, so big things coming. Definitely this year. I've got some goals that I want to hit, and hopefully, yeah, if I do hit them, then it's only going to go up and up and up from here.
Say this year, is there a time frame that you've set for you expect to get the next Nathan Lo Monaco song?
Well, like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but I think before the next financial year, you might be able to get something.
Oh.
Cool.
That's it.
Cheers.